Well guys, got an assortment of chisels and punch. So we're going to see what works the best here. Now that's coming out of there, but I don't want to separate the rubber from the two metal pieces. And a punch is hitting one at a time. Now this chisel's a little wider. Now that's hitting both of them at the same time. So that might work better to get them out of there. Yeah. You can see how nice and square those shanks are. There's nothing worse than somebody who runs a machine with the shank all messed up on it. It just shows you how little they cared about their stuff. But anyway, nice and neat looking, and that's what I want. You can see these shanks, they're not bad, but they've been on there a while. They're actually rusted a little bit, and the rubber's starting to separate from the key, which is not a, doesn't help the shank, or it doesn't help the key stay in when it does that. These teeth that I'm taking off here, it may not pay to do it, but at the same time, if you have nothing else to do, you could build these teeth up with weld, the old teeth, and you know, keep from buying them. Of course, at $8 a pair, or at $8 a piece, it wouldn't pay to really do a whole lot of work to these, but you can put some hard surfacing on there. You could build up the tip if you wanted to, but like I say, the price doesn't really, you know, it doesn't pay to do it. But if you have nothing else to do and you got welding rods, it might not hurt. One of the other ways to get these out too would be to take and squeeze them with a pair of vice grips once you get them out a little bit. And you can see these are, I don't know if you can see that, but these definitely need the key. If you look there, you can see the keys separating from the rubber, so they're definitely time to change these, that's for sure. See, this is what I'm saying about the metal came off of the rubber. Now, this is not a deal breaker. You can actually put these back on here, and as long as you drive them in together, they'll stay on. But I'll just put these in the toolbox I have in the backhoe here and keep them as a spare just in case. know, I always see a lot of stuff where, you know, when they make a video about whether you should buy something or not, people say, if you see this, don't buy it. If you see that, don't buy it. Well, let me just tell you, when you see backhoe buckets that have, or any kind of bucket, and the shanks aren't nice and square like these, you can assume that the guy who didn't care about these, he also didn't care about the rest of the machine. That's usually how it goes. That's not a positive, but something to look at. You can see that rubber's pretty much shot there. This one probably won't even keep this. Some of these systems that they have for putting teeth on, I think the worst one that they have on a small bucket is where you take the tooth and there's no holes in it. You just drive a pin and you sort of punch it in, and the friction holds it onto the shank. Those are the worst ones to get off. Especially if all you're doing is working with a hammer and chisel. Sometimes you gotta take a torch and cut them off. But anyway, these shanks are like brand new, and that's a good thing. Especially since the bucket's about 30, I don't know, I keep forgetting how old this is, 30 years at least. I left the other teeth in by the Christmas tree. I'm gonna go get them. That's a nasty looking tooth. Oh man, they ought to be good for ripping out roots. Oh yeah. I thought the new keepers came with them as well. I think I showed you that yesterday. All you ought to do is squeeze that and get it started in there. I'm going to go get a pair of vice grips. Don't work too bad. Cold out this morning, but the sunshine is nice. Boy, they ought to do a good job of ripping. They seem tight enough. I think they should be alright. When you put these teeth on, if you look inside of them, you'll see that it appears like this is a flat spot here compared to the bevel. The bottom of the shank has the flat spot on this one, and the top has the bevel. So this is the way that they go on. That's how you can tell which way is up or down with them. Once they fill up with dirt, they'll tighten up in there. Boy, that's a mean looking bucket. That ought to work really well for me for digging out roots. One of the guys was saying that it's possible because they were so cheap that they might be what they're calling factory seconds. And it's possible because the finish on them isn't that great on some of them, but some of them actually look pretty good. The thing is I don't care about the finish as much as I care about what kind of steel they're made out of. If the steel is made out of the same thing that a better looking pair are made out of, it doesn't matter. They're going to hang in there. But it all depends on how the steel is made. So I'll try it out because this Ford probably does have enough power to break them off if you're, trying to break them off, which I'm not going to try. And then someone else had mentioned to me about, do I take these off when I'm doing regular digging? Well, let me put it to you like this. You don't have to, but if I was going to be digging around wires or pipe or something that I could hurt that's under the ground, I would rather have a flat tooth than one of these pointed teeth, because then it gives you less chance of snagging it. I mean, you can still snag something when you have a flat tooth, but it's a better chance of not snagging it. But around here I don't have that problem. When I used to, do pipe work for a living, yes, you had all kind of wires under the ground and all kind of gas lines and everything else. So, the flatter the tooth, the better you would be, so that you don't rip things apart. And it all depends on the operator as well. So, all right. So there's my wife's cutting or dough board. You can see that those seams are all nice together. It's nice and flat. I sanded it off, and I also put some raw linseed oil on there. Now there was a question and some concerns, and I'm glad I got emails about that, because I was going to put boiled linseed oil on it, and boiled isn't what you should put on a cutting board, but you can put raw linseed oil. Now I put it on, I wiped it off, and I'm going to let it dry. Now if this, since I wiped it off, it shouldn't take long for it to dry, because I mean, the stove's right there and it's burning hot today because it's cold out, so I should be able to pretty easily dry this thing. If it dries within like 3 days or so, then I'm going to put another coat on. If it takes longer, then I'm going to let it go and I'll give it back to my wife. So anyway, that's just another thing salvaged from the, lost pile, I guess you could say. What do you want to do? You want to go out? It's pretty cold out. Does that matter to you? Alright, well, we'll go bye-bye then. Take you for a little walk. You ready? Come on, let's go. Hey guys, check it out. That's 80 degrees in the greenhouse. The relative humidity is down in somewhere around 45, which is good. Today's going to be a good day for drying. The temperature outside is 19, just so you know. Bright sunny day though. I'm loving it. So I'm going to get out a little bit with the dog, and then I'm going to do some more polyurethaning. 19 outside, 80 in the kiln. Okay, so all that base molding that's laying here has been polyurethaned already. So that's pretty much finished, except for a small section here. I'll show you what I didn't do yet. Hey boy. Which is right here. This is all the base that's left to do. So there's 4, 8, 9, and then maybe another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 20 pieces yet I have to do a base. And then I gotta do this crown molding, but I want to put a 45 on this crown molding, so I gotta redo it in the planer. I've been having a hard time getting a back cutter for it, for the size I need. So bullseye, I'll be working on that today. Fire's nice and hot, and then I'm going to start working on the rest of this casing here. There's a lot of that to do yet.